Hi there, Malcolm here with my 6th Wyrmberg Games video. A couple of weeks ago now I went to the first Tabletop event at the Alexandra Palace and there I picked up a few games. If you'd like to know how I got on, then please check out the link below to my blog. I gave a quick account of the 2 days that I attended that event. This is not that video. This video is the unboxing of those games. Admittedly I have already played some of them, but let's unbox them anyway. So first up, following my near success at King of Tokyo, I was awarded the King Kong Monster Pack and the Lollybot character. So Lollybot seems to be some sort of doll that fires Skittles or M&Ms or Smarties out of a big Gatling gun. But unfortunately it doesn't come with any power cards. In the King Kong box, we have King Kong, his power cards for King of Tokyo and King of New York, which I haven't got. Assemble it yourself, Tokyo Tower for King of Tokyo and the Empire State Building for New York. So there's Tokyo Tower and the Empire State Building. Essentially you need to roll 4 of a kind. Tokyo Tower it's 4 ones, or for this Empire State Building it's 4 skulls, and you can claim each level with a successful roll, and if you get all 3 levels you win the game. The Tokyo Tower one's particularly wobbly, so you need a very flat, stable surface for it. Another power card, Captured Beauty or Protected Beauty, depending on whether or not you're playing as King Kong or not. I was also awarded 2 promo cards, one for the King of New York, one for King of Tokyo. Zombify, which I already got free in a Tabletop magazine a few months ago. A New York City Defender, which is fine, except I don't have New York. I'm also slightly annoyed because the backing has a different back to the back I have in my edition. And I got all that for coming second place in a tournament. Not bad. Other things I picked up were Terraforming Mars Prelude. Now this expansion comes with 37 new cards, unsurprisingly, 5 new corporations, Point Lunar, which comes with an Earth and Space tag and gives you bonuses every time you play an Earth tag card, Robinson Industries, which allows you to play 4 money to increase one of your lowest performing productions, Chongqing Mars, which gives you a 2 credit discount for every building purchase. Similarly, Valley Trust gives you a 2 credit discount for every science tag you purchase, and Vitor, which gives you money every time you play a card with a non-negative VP. 7 new project cards. House Printing, increasing your steel level 1 step. Lava Tube Settlement allows you to build a settlement on a volcano. Martian Survey for drawing 2 new cards. Psychophiles for more microbe usage. Research Coordination, which gives you a wild tag. SF Memorial for a point and to draw a card. And Space Hotels, which increases your credit to production. There's a TR solo game, so if you're into solo play, this helps you to play Terraforming Mars as a single player. And there are 35 of these Prelude cards. Players are given 4 of these at random, and they get to choose 2 of them to keep, and they get to keep them for free. After the corporations have been revealed and acted upon, the 2 Prelude cards are then revealed and acted upon, and they act as green cards, remain in play during the entire game with their tags in play. I'm not going to go through all 35 of these, but these will generally change up how each player starts their game. Allied Bank, for example, gives you an extra 4 money production as well as 3 actual credits. Eccentric Sponsor allows you to play a card from your hand with a 25 credit discount. A loan reduces your money production by 2 but gives you a 30 credit in hand. This one increases oxygen 2 steps and gives you 5 steel. Right at the beginning of the game, before you've even started. Supply Drop gives you 3 titanium, 8 steel and 3 plants. Nice starts there. Acquired Space Agency gives you 6 titanium and the first 2 space cards from the deck. And you start with 2 of these at the beginning of the game, so each game will be even more unique, and certainly if you go for the drafting start of the game, these will help you to tailor your starting deck according to your corporation and your 2 Prelude cards. Really exciting addition, really looking forward to playing with this. Next up, Stone Age by Z-Man Games. It's a bit of an oldie. On the way to the event, my wife mentioned that she quite enjoyed worker placement games. This immediately came to mind, and I said, if I find Stone Age, I'll pick you up a copy. We did, and I did. So we did. We played it, and yes, she likes it. So, in here, we have a beautifully printed board, where we have resource gathering, agricultural development, technology development, a special hut where 2 Stone Age people can go and produce a 3rd Stone Age person, and special cards. All bordered by the obligatory score track. It's for 4 players, and each player gets their own personal development board, on which they can keep track of their technology level, and the various buildings that they've built. These purely give you points when you buy them, as well as some other things. And here's a little reminder of what the cards do when you buy them, and once you get a certain amount of cards they give you points. There's a little reminder there and how they work. Handy rulebook, tell you what you're supposed to do. And a crib sheet explaining what all the cards do. Also handy. 7 dice and this lovely little dice shaker. Made to look like leather, and it feels a bit like it too. Not quite sure what it smells of though. Bag of caveman meeples in 4 different colours, also containing 4 cubes of matching colours for the score track. Technology tokens, numbering from 1 to 4, denoting the level of technology you have. These are used to increase your dice roll values. Food currency in 1, 2, 5 and 10. At the end of each round you do need to feed your tribe. Other resources: wood, clay, stone and gold. Incidentally, all these bags came with the set. A bag with these buildings in them. This one, for example, gives you 15 points, requires 1 brick, 1 stone and 1 gold to build. This one gives you 13 points, requires 2 brick and 1 stone. There's also a first player token standee of the village chief. And then there's a whole bunch of these cards you can also get during your turn. Each one will cost 1, 2, 3 or 4 resources depending on where they are on the board. This one will get you 2 food, but will also score your points at the end of the game according to how many buildings you've built, multiplied by the number of cards with that symbol at the bottom. This one gives you an increase of 1 technology, and also the symbol at the bottom, if you have the whole set of those, I think there's 5 or 6 different symbols, you also get a bunch of points. This one, you roll the dice equal to the number of players playing, and then each player gets to pick a dice and get the resource matching the number rolled according to the key at the top. And then for every symbol of the 2 men playing with stones, you multiply that by your current technology level to get that many points, and so on and so forth. If you like worker placement games, this is a good fun one, as it is literally worker placement. There's not much more than that. You put your men where you want them to go, and then do the resulting actions accordingly. Dice are all about resource gathering, where you roll the amount of dice equal to the amount of people you sent on that particular gather, divide it by the level. So food is, for example, at level 2, so if you roll a 6, you divide it by 2, you get 3 food. Wood, you divide by 3, clay, you divide by 4, and so on and so forth, up to gold, which you have to divide by 6 to see how many of that resources you get. Really good fun, and also not very complicated at all. Next up, another expansion for 5 tribes, the Whims of the Sultan. I've got every expansion for this game so far. So this comes with another crib sheet for each player, showing what all the new stuff does. Brown camels, tent and minaret for a 5th player. A revised order and order bidding track for the 5th player. A revised scorecard for the 5th player. And all of these do include the Artisans expansion as well. 2 new gins. Carly, who awards money every time a marker is pushed on the turn order bidding track. And Galapati, who's linked to this expansion. Our money is awarded each time somebody gets a win with the Sultan card. More red, green, yellow, blue and white meeples to accommodate a bigger board. 6 new related tiles, 5 of which allow you to get a win with the Sultan card. Another impassable tile, the Great Lake, and doubles the value of each palm or palace that is in the 8 surrounding tiles. There are 5 fabulous cities, which if you end your turn on one of these, you get the win with the Sultan card if it's on there. If it's already been taken, you don't get anything. And they're worth 5 times the number of fabulous cities you own at the end of the game. So you can score between 5 to 25 points depending on whether you have 1 or 5 of them. There's also some more 5 money coins because you can never have enough, and with an extra player you might need them. There are also 22 of these Whim of the Sultan cards, like that on the back, and each one's explained on this crib sheet what they do. That gives you 10 gold coins if you have 2 pots, or 2 wheat, or 2 fish, or 3 gins, or 4 yellow guys. If you control a corner territory, this one gives you 5 if you kill a yellow guy, and so on and so forth. Talking about the stall holders at the event, they did comment that with the extra tiles you do get a board that is far too big and you end up with a death of everything's just scattered all over the place and nobody can do anything. Tiles, and then arrange the board using that. In cases you'll have more fabulous cities, other cases you will have less artifacts or places. It does sound like you can really change the board up by doing it that way, rather than just making a slightly bigger board, which then has a heat death, if you like. Trying it out, it is a popular one with the family. Actually, it's just fitting all in the box again. It also fits in this nice little insert, which does seem a bit pointless, because once you've added it all to the main game anyway, you won't need this, but thought. Expansion Cities of Splendor boasts not 1 but 4 expansions within it. But they are mutually exclusive, so unlike with other games where you just bundle the expansions together and get on with it, This one you can only play one expansion a game. It's some nice variety, I suppose. 4 separate instruction leaflets for each of the expansions. For cities, holds, and trading posts. These you use these large city tiles instead of the nobles. Instead of nobles, 3 of these are placed up next to the area. The player to reach the prestige points and have the bonuses required, like you would normally with nobles, can claim one of these cities and win the game that way. This one, for example, you need to have 15 points and 5 of the same colour. 13 points and 4 red and 3 black, and so forth. Brilliant. Gives you these red cards of 1, 2 and 3 level, like with the standard deck, to the right of the normal playing area in a 3x2 arrangement, and provide further purchasing options. These also do some special things. Little baggie is a wild card which you match to an existing card you already own, and it will then permanently become that matching colour. This one is worth 2 gold tokens, and once spent the card is discarded. These are double bonuses for each colour. One worth 1 white bonus and allows you to reserve a noble. You can get that noble, but only if you meet the requirements. Good at stopping other people getting that noble. We've got ones that allow you to acquire a level 1 or level 2 face-up card for free. Just claim it because you bought this card. As these cards, you must discard cards of the matching colour. So this one will cost you 2 black cards to buy this one. Strongholds. Each player is given 3 of these strongholds each. Blue, red, yellow and black. Each turn, after purchasing a single card and before you replace it, you can put 2 things. You can put or move one of these strongholds onto a face-up card. Remove someone else's stronghold from a card and give it back to them. The stronghold on it stops anyone else purchasing it. You're able to get all 3 of your strongholds onto a card, purchase that card as an extra action on your turn. The trading posts comes with this neat little board, coats of arms of each colour. Each time you meet one of the requirements on the trading post, you can put one of your arm tokens on the matching space and give you the appropriate power. Once you've purchased a card, you can then take a token. 2 tokens of the same colour, you can then take a 3rd token of another colour. Token is worth 2 of the same coloured token. This one's worth 5 points, but you do need to own a noble as well as bonuses. A point for every coat of arm you have on this board. Also comes with a nifty little first player token. And like with the 5 tribes expansion, the insert holds all your bits quite nicely. I think in the original box that would accommodate any of this, an expansion that will in its own box. Finally, the one I picked up, Clank in Space, played it that evening, enjoyed it so much that on day 2 I picked up the expansion, Phillips. Since played it with the expansion, and I can say it is a great game with a huge improvement with the expansion as well. So just to say, as an unboxing, this has all been mixed up from the 2 expansions, so just once. The itself is comprised of a jigsaw style, build it on the table according to how you want. This is the health of the players. The cargo bay is where you start and hopefully where you get to finish. All important command part of the ship. This makes a ship, by the way, station or something. Where you've got to try and get to, as well as the right hand side there. Clank space, which denotes how much noise you've made while sneaking on this station. A nifty little bit with a space elevator in it. And 3 or 5 with expansion modules, 3 of which will go into the board to make up your game. Each one's double-sided, between different bonuses and threats. Fill them up, play them out randomly, giving a very different layout and hopefully a very different game. Velvety baggie, the rules, and the rules from the expansion. Baddie marker that goes on the threat tracker. Alternate baddie marker from the expansion. The 4 bounty hunter cubes. This can get a little baggie with a piece, 2 translucent cubes of their colour, and a whole bunch of solid cubes of their colour. Orange, blue, purple, white. Only that the 4 player pieces are all different shapes as well. Tokens you can buy during the game to help you with teleportation, healing, opening locked doors, creating special abilities on cards. On this little card here, that's 7 credits a piece. Escape pods, which you need to use at the end of the game, if you live that long. Host of credit chips from 1, 5 and 10. These to buy the things I've just shown you. The escape pods, which are on the board anyway. The bonuses, Go on the board, question side up. When you land on the space, you'll get the mystery bonus. Most of them are good. There's a couple of ones that will increase the threat track by 1, but most of the time, these are worth getting. More tokens, including some crystals you can get to help you use special powers, as well as the very things you're trying to get onto the board to steal and run off with. Black cubes represent the enemy. This is a deck building game, so it comes with a lot of cards. Starts with a hand of 10 cards. An access card that allows them to move 1 space on the board. A card which gives them 1 purchasing power and moving space on the board, worth 1 purchasing power. Stumbles, which means you have to add one of your cubes to the clank area. The more cubes you have in the clank area, the worse it can be for you. Damage you may take. During the game, all the black cubes start off in the bag. The cubes that accumulate in the clank area also end up in the bag. Cubes are then drawn from the bag at random, and the damage is given accordingly. And black cubes do nothing unless you have the expansion. It provides these scheme cards. In each case, when a black cube is drawn, it is added to one of these trackers at the top. The track is filled, the bad thing happens, and we go on to the next track. The card is filled, a whole pile of hurt is placed upon all the players. Provide an ability to remove the black cubes, which, provided the board pieces are added to the game, you can then use those black cubes to purchase goods. The trade purchasing deck, which always comes with Phasers, which give you 1 purchasing power, and 2 combat power, which allow you to fight other purchasing cards which require you to fight them, or to move about on the board safely. They cost 7, but are worth at the end of the game. Unfortunately, they do nothing and can fill up your hand with uselessness. Go, which is 2 purchasing power and a move. Always available is this poor goblin guy, which if you have 2 combat power, you can defeat him, give yourself a credit. In some instances, he can be upgraded to the Eradibot, 3 combat power, but does give a better reward as well. Beat him as many times a turn as you wish, or can. There's a whole host of cards you can buy. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there are boss cards, such as this power converter, sort of boss symbol here. These cards are drawn and placed on the trade row. They will trigger a boss event, which means all the cubes in the clank area go into the bag, and then cubes are drawn according to where you are on the threat level. Here's the threat track. You start down here. As the threat goes up due to various events, more cubes are drawn. So there's only 2 cubes to start off with, and if you get to the top, it'd be 5 cubes a time. When one of these cards comes up, you have to do that turn. So if there's like 2 come up in one go, then you only do it once. Related trash cards, particularly annoying stumble ones, provide extra clank, so we'll remove clank, provide an ongoing threat while they're not purchased. Here's this boss card, so he'll trigger the boss event when he's drawn, but while he is face up on the table, claimed, you draw an extra cube out of the bag on top of what order he has to come out. The cards belong to a faction. This is the purple faction, and if you play a second card of the same faction, in this case another purple card in the same turn, you get the secondary ability, in this case draw a card. Cards have an arrive ability, so when this one is drawn, rather than triggering the boss, one has to put a clank cube into the clank space. 9000 exploits the expansion's black cube usage. There's 1 combat power, unless you spend a black cube your own, it's to 5. Cards are an acquire card, so this one, when you buy it, teleport to an adjacent space. Subsequently you play it, you get to have the 2 move actions. I'm not going to show them all, they all do variations on the theme of extra moves, extra fights. Whistle stop tour through that one, but this video has gone on long enough. Deck building games at the best of times, particularly good one. I do like the way they incorporate a board which you can move around and try and do objectives at the same time. Expansion's edition of the schemes does give an extra level to this game as well, and I really appreciate having got that too. From not even knowing about this game to having both it and the expansion and loving it. Went over the original, the Clank, because of the spacey theme to it. I had a great time at Tabletop. Do check out my blog because it also mentions all the games I played and tried out at the time and what I thought of those. I think I played about 15 games over the course of the 2 days. Really excited to see that they are planning to do it again next year. There we go, that was my rather long unboxing. A lot of boxes to unbox there. I hope you enjoyed that and you stayed with me. The Tabletop event, what did you think of it? Tried any of these particular games or expansions? Which is your favourite? Which didn't work for you? I'd love to know. Please put your comments in the section down below. If you have nothing nice to say, then please do keep to yourself. Thank you. Until next time, see you later.